1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me tell you how it will be. That's 1 for you, 19 for me. Because I'm the tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax man. Hello, I'm the Chris who plays games. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Tonight we're doing a very special stream. We're going to be building our oh, that's too loud. Our Saturn V Lego kit. So I have the whole setup here in front of me. We have a whole bunch of Legos in front of us. 12 separate bags of Legos. This instruction guide has 343 steps, I think is what it is. So we've got a lot of things to build. Yeah. So this is actually a pretty cool guide. So the build is this is the tallest Lego build that I think they sell, the tallest Lego kit that they sell. It's like 3 feet tall. Like the box is, look, even the box is big. The box is big. It has 1,969 pieces, of course, to celebrate the year that Apollo landed on the moon, Apollo 11. Apollo 13, of course, famously did not land on the moon, but that's a different one. So we're going to build the whole tall thing, and we'll also have a lunar lander module and a command module, and some little nanofigs to go along with it. So we are going to be doing that. Yeah, so we're in the basement. This is the space that we were working on. As you can see, I cleared off the table. I threw away my 3D printer. I, tidied up some of the other stuff in here. I took out, I think at this point it's 9 bags of like full bags of trash, as well as a whole bunch of laundry. And some is just organization. Like I've got some boxes stacked up over here that weren't stacked before. So yeah, it's actually, but this is a really cool build. And not only is it a cool build, but the stuff they have here is also pretty cool. They have like information on the Apollo program in this nice glossy magazine, and they have instructions and information about how the thing like fits together. And I guess it was designed originally by a fan. So this was designed by Felix Thiessen and Valerie Roach. And then, of course, they've got the cosplaying Lego designers playing as moon people as well. So, yeah. So it's a really cool looking build. So the build is split up. Oop, I'm being loud again. I'm sorry. I always practice my volume before I start. And I always think I know how loud I'm going to be, and then I find out that I'm much louder than I expect to be. So anyway. There's 12 bags of Lego here, and initially I was going to set out all the pieces because that's what like Adam Savage does, and he talked about it, and I was like, oh, that seems like a thing. And I realized 2 things. One, if I set out all the pieces for all of these bags, it's actually harder to do it because it's actually like the build steps are organized by the bags. 2 is the fact that it is gnawing. There you go. 2 is the fact that I failed to take into account, and I'm glad that I didn't do this, but I failed to take into account, I have cats, and I have cats who are now in a newly like clean space, and so 4 times in the past 20 minutes, the cats have come and walked across this table. So Ichabod like keeps wandering around behind this backdrop here and other stuff like that. And so it's probably better that I didn't do that. So that's good. So we've got our 12 bags here, but we're only going to work 1 bag at a time. We may not make it through all the bags, and if we don't, then we will continue tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, finishing this up. But for the moment, we're just going to push all of the rest of them out of the way. So 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. Go away. Don't need them. Yes, I found the OLPC, so I set that up in the back corner there. I don't know if it still works. I don't think I have a charger for it, so it's got a label on it. It says EO6, which I think means it's one of the ones I accidentally stole from OLPC, but whatever. Yeah, so we've got bags here, so we'll open this up and we will and we will see what we got. Along with the OLPC, I found a T42, an IBM ThinkPad, which when I stopped using it 8 years ago, I think was already kind of towards the old end of things. Okay. Yeah, so there's that. Okay, so we got some pieces, and I have not done a Lego build in probably a decade, so we'll have to see how bad I am at this. There were a lot of people who were like, this build, the instructions are very good and everything else like that. So as I was saying earlier, this is going to basically build. So we'll try and at least make sure we get through bags 6 and probably 10 tonight. And 10 will build the majority of the thing. And then the last 2 bags, 11 and 12, seem like they're really full of the fiddly bits that make up the kind of the command module and the stands and the like other things like that. So 11 and 12 may wait until tomorrow. We'll have to see how quickly we get through it. I will stop either when I get too cold for my hands to continue because I am in a basement with no heat, or we get far enough along that we take a break. Okay, so let us set out some of these pieces here so that we can easily browse them later. We've got a bunch of these little things here. We've got a platform, some more of these little... Oh, we've got like a little brick separator thing. There's like a little advertisement for this earlier in the guide, so I thought it was like a separate thing you had to buy, but I guess they just give it to you. I didn't do... Oops, sorry, hold on. Yeah, so we've got like a brick separator. Anyway, so we've got our panels here. We got some white ones and some gray ones. I'll set these scissors aside for now because I don't need them until I open another bag. More white panels. Okay, long gray ones. Long gray ones. Yeah, so I am not a person who puts together Lego regularly. I am not someone who has a lot of experience with this, so you're going to look at me and be like, why are you doing it that way? That's the wrong way to do it. And everyone who does Lego knows the right way to do it is blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to be like, look, do I look like the kind of guy who does Lego regularly? Like, do I really look like that kind of guy? I probably do look like that kind of guy, but I'm not that kind of guy. So there is that. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to push this out of the way for the moment. Okay, we got a little black thing, which looks like maybe it goes to the silver thing. We've got just like a couple of 2x2. Like these are the core bricks of my, of my existence. And there's like 2 of them in this entire like first bag of a bajillion pieces. So a lot of Lego is just like got really fancy pieces these days, I guess. And I just don't, I don't understand. Okay, we got 4 little red chairs. We've got a couple of blue pieces here. And what else? I'm surprised. Oh, there I was going to say. There should be 2 of these because there's kind of 2 of... Shouldn't be 1 of anything, I expect, because it's a symmetrical build. So it should be at least 2 of all the things that there are. There might be 4. There might be more. Anything that there's just, this has actually worked out very well so far. Anything that there's an odd number of that isn't 1 is pretty much looking like we got it. Okay, this being the exception, which I expected to have 2 of but don't, but that's fine. Might be a core piece, that's whatever. Gotcha. Yeah, I seem like that guy, but in fact, I am not that kind of guy. Okay, so what we have now is that we have this circle piece here, and this circle piece is going to get put together with these 2 roundy pieces in some way that is like this, and like that. Okay, so now we've got that. Great. I did that wrong. I did that exactly backwards. It goes the other side. So this is why I expect this to take me... People are like, oh, this is like a 3-4 hour build. And I'm like, there is no way this is going to be a 3 or 4 hour build for me because I'm going to have to take apart half of the pieces I put together because this actually goes like that and not the other way. Okay, so now we need 4 of the little... Ba-da-da-da. Oh, I didn't open up the other bag. Okay. So we need more of these small pieces. So there's actually 2 bags inside the first bag. We've got to open the small bag as well as the big bag. Yeah, well, so I think that's really the thing, Mark, is that, like, I didn't get Lego kits for the most part when I was a kid. I think we had one big one that I did at one point, like a Star Wars one of some kind, but that was the exception rather than the rule. So in my mind, I am completely biased by the random stuff that you got in the big bulk kits, and nothing else. The beeping and singing you heard in the background was, of course, my washing machine, or my dryer, I think, telling me it's done, because the washing machine is still running. I don't know. One of them was saying it's done. And so now it is doing its little thing, because I have been doing laundry all day while I've been working on the basement to try and catch up with all of the random, like, sheets and towels and other stuff that I identified that I actually have. So, I have a furry visit. I have several. So yeah, we have Tony over here. Ichabod has wandered through several times already, though he may have managed to stay off stream. I have no idea where Anna is. She's probably sleeping. But Ichabod and Tony, that now that I have rearranged the basement slightly, they keep wandering in and out. Like, what is with this different space? Like, why is it different than it used to be? I don't understand. So I am not surprised to see them around here. Okay, we got some, looks like some lunar lander legs here. Yeah, it is a lot of bags. Yeah, so those are all bags we'll deal with later and are not the important part of what's going on. Everything that's important is happening right here. Which in hindsight, maybe I should have done a better camera angle for that, but I couldn't figure out a way to do that let me take in the rest of the table as well. And unfortunately on my Mac, it doesn't let me zoom my C920. I think there's a secondary like piece of software I can get that lets me do it, but yeah, top down is, so the problem with top down is actually a little bit complicated, is that like I can't talk to people that way. Although I guess I did set up the second camera in the end. So at the time when I started this, I was not thinking about the fact that I was going to use the built-in eyesight as like a secondary camera. So I didn't want to have something that was just top down. I do actually have my phone above me recording from the top down. So there is that as well. But yeah, or I mean, there's a number of things that are just single pieces, right? So you just gotta like at any point in here, there's probably like a few pieces they can make it one more or less. So like for example, I think like the very top spire at the very top would be one place they could do that as well. So okay, don't need this bag anymore. Okay, so these are our big pieces. These are the littler pieces. We've got these 4, 5. It's interesting that there's more like 5s in this little part, or maybe I just haven't found all of them. Oh, there we go, 6. I was gonna say 6 seems more likely because I think there are 6 sides to the piece, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so now we got a lot of these little things with one hole, which I think is the next thing that I need, and we are so innocent. We are so in. Okay, I need 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I need 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think those are right. And I need 4 of these. So 1969 was the first year that they landed on the moon. So the Saturn V was used for earlier Apollo missions, but that was obviously the Apollo 11 mission is the most famous one. And that is what it is referring to. So 1969 is commemorative to the year of the Apollo 11 launch and landing. I think Apollo 2 launched before that. Apollo 1 burned up on the pad. If my Apollo 13 movie memory is correct. And then they did a bunch of different stuff about fire suppression and making the door easier to open and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. A rectangular table, like, would help a little bit, but the reality is that probably I should just have zoomed in or moved my camera closer or something, but I didn't. So, anyway, yeah. So what did we build? We built 4 of these little guys, these little jobbers, and so we put it together. We put it together. Okay, and now I attach these to this somehow in between here. So here's what I'm doing, is I need to take this and I need to put these parts on here. Along the edges, we can do that. And that. Okay, cool. And could probably do the same thing here. The other thing is confusing. Oh, okay. No, that's fine. I thought they had to be on angles somehow because I misread the part, but there we go. Done. Hello, Aurora. Well, I wanted to make sure that you got a chance to see at least a little bit. So here's my big table full of bags of Lego. And we're making our way. We're on step 3 is done. And so now we're on to step 4. So, you know, we're just making our way right through this, like nobody's business. Apparently, I don't understand. This has a little arrow next to it. Like, I don't know what this rotating arrow means, but apparently I'm supposed to rotate something. So, I'm not sure how to interpret that, but I have created something which looks a little bit like this. Oh, I did the wrong thing. There we go. Got 4 little pieces. Step 4 done. Step 5 on the way. Ba-ba-da-ba, ba-ba-da. Hello, Julie. Bum-ba-da-ba, bum-ba-da-bum, bum, bum-ba-da-bum, bum-ba-da. I love John Williams' music. It's just so heroic. So as I'm doing something obviously heroic, it seems like it's the right fix. Okay, so now we stack these inside. It's not gonna go airborne. We're not gonna shoot a Lego rocket into space. I was never really a model rocketry guy. I don't remember if it was that I felt like it cost money that I didn't have, or I just wasn't interested or what, but that was just never really my scene. So, okay. We've got some of these. Oh, come on, snap in. Oh, come on. Yeah. Yeah, but that is one of the reasons why I'm glad that I didn't like go out and null the whole set out, as Adam Savage might have had me do, because I would have been very upset when the cats wandered in and knocked it all over, and I lost several of the pieces and no longer had 1969, and it would have made me sad. So good on me for not doing the thing that would have caused me sadness, yeah. But yeah, so I did actually mount a camera above my head. We'll see if I like how that looks after the fact. At the moment, I kind of looked at it and recorded it and made sure it did a thing. But I'm hopeful that I'll be able to build my time-lapse from that. And it just focuses on the table, and we'll see how it actually comes out. Okay, where's this one? This one. Okay. So now I got 4 little red things that go together. Oh, this one didn't snap in all the way. There we go. Cool. So we've got 3 little pieces go together. That finishes step 6. Oh, now I have to put these in a place. That does not finish step 6. Step 6 requires us to take and apply these on top of our 1 stud pieces with the studs facing out. 1. Hello, Anzen Solzard. Welcome, welcome. I am the Chris who plays games, playing retro games every Monday at 9:15, doing whatever I want every Friday at 9:15, which tonight includes building a Lego set. So we are building the Lego Saturn V, the 1969 piece monster, which is the largest tallest Lego kit at all, I think. That's what I remember. Okay, so now we're gonna put some alternating panels around here. We're gonna attach them such that the white, I guess it doesn't actually matter. No gateways to Narnia down here. I did find, like I said, an OLPC, the One Laptop per Child project that, you know, you may have heard of back a decade or so ago. You know, that's what you've got over here in the corner here. I did throw away my 3D printer. Printer bot was nice while it lasted, but with it being broken, the idea of getting it fixed and making it better, it's like, at that point, I'd be better off just buying a new printer, which is better. All right, so now we've finished up that, and so we've got a little boop, 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 boop. Cool. All right, so that gets us here. And we're going to build some crossbars here with that one piece that I was like, this is weird, because it doesn't really fit with the rest of things. And some gray cross pieces. That's fine, Anzen. I'm glad you made it by, and you are welcome to lurk. Or hang out or do whatever, you know, as everybody's welcome here. Okay, I grabbed the wrong pieces. Those don't go here. These go here. Okay. There we go. We got 2 little white pieces that are going to be our cross pieces, and 2 more that are going to go over here. So this is going to go across the joint between the white and the gray. Alright. And then we're going to apply 2 more of these pieces across the joint between the gray and the white. And we get a cross piece. Next up is we will be adding more red and gray pieces to this. Red and gray, red and gray. I don't know why we're red and gray. Yeah, so Julianne is my daughter. And actually was able to watch part of the live stream where I cleaned out the basement. I remember at one point yelling at her to go to bed because we would have to get up in the morning and go to a college visit, if I remember correctly. But she doesn't really come down to the basement because that's where scary things like doing the laundry are. So she didn't actually see it. Also, I will admit that it didn't actually look any cleaner because I had like made piles of clutter until today. So today was the first day where it actually, like, I cleared a space. I actually even swept this part of the floor. Like, that's basically this entire area, which is like, you know, like 7 by 8 or so. I actually swept out the floor and like organized everything and made it look pretty good today. So pretty happy with myself. Feel like I was productive. The washing machine, you just need to put stuff in and then push the on button. You always try and use some weird setting that I don't understand. And like, just don't use that setting. Oh, whatever. Okay. So now I have assembled the pieces on top here. So I can go ahead and continue with my curvy bits, which are going to fit across this. Ugh. Come on, snap in. Oh no, don't fall off. Yeah, so I guess that's right. Each of these little red things can rotate a little bit, so I'm going to have to rotate them until they kind of snap into place correctly. The Lego designers, I you know, they're really ingenious how things, like, how they fit things together and everything else like that. Even to the point of, like, it's actually hard to, even though these pieces are a little bit, like, fragile as they sit here, it's actually hard to drop them inside, where you'd have to have a hard time taking them back out because the space is actually too small for that, which I think is, like, a nice little design perk. And overall, I think that that's just that Lego is really good at what they do. I am having a little bit of trouble with these things that are kind of trapped on stuff. Let me try to straighten these a little bit more. Okay. There we go. All right, there we go. Oh, maybe. Not quite. Yeah. Ah, Lego Eiffel Tower is taller. Gotcha. Well, does the Eiffel Tower really count? I mean, that's French. Who really believes in the French anyway? I tell you. All right. What am I doing wrong here? If I remove these pieces and just do this, does that actually snap in? What am I missing? What am I missing? Does it actually just go this way instead? I guess it doesn't actually matter. That doesn't seem like it's right either. So those are the same height. So here's what I'm dealing with, right? I've got like a small gap here where it's kind of in on both sides but bent up in the middle, and I'm not sure why. Whoa! Flying piece. That was clearly not the right approach. Oh, I wonder if I just had these kind of push a little bit in. Okay, let's try that one more time. Is that the Eiffel Tower weighs out 8 pounds assembled? Okay. I'm not... Does this... Okay. So that does actually work. Do that. Then that. And then let's kind of squeeze these outward. Okay. So that works now. Let's take this off, put these on, and try with these pieces on there. Definitely not finding this particular bit kind of easy squeezy. Oh, Super Star Destroyer is 8 pounds. Got it. Da 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 da. Okay, so okay, and on this side, and this is why I say it will take me longer than the average person to build this. Okay, cool. Look at that. I got them all snapped in, 1/2 done. Okay, cool. Now let's turn out and do the other thing. Okay. 48-inch diameter Death Star. Do they do a Death Star? Spheres feel like they would be hard to make. I mean, I guess you just make a stand for it or something, but... Okay. I think now that I got this other side in, this one's a little bit easier, although it's still not snapping in right away. I think it's that this outer ring kind of has a little bit of flex to it, and so I probably have it kind of flexed in the wrong direction, which is hurting me here. So let me take this off, put this back on, attach here for myself. Oops. Nope. Attach here and squeeze this one in there. Nope. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Ooh ah. Ooh ah. Okay. So I mostly got this in the right place, except for maybe this one is rotated a bit. There we go. Cool. All right, so now I've got a flat top with all these pieces in there. And that completes step 11, brings us on to step number 12. Okay. Da 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 dum da 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 dum. Got a little piece in the middle and one flat 2x2. That's like gold. Ah, brown. There it is. Okay, we got a brown 2x2, which will make the base of the second stage. Oh yeah, that's right. So each of these stages is going to come apart. And so like this is the first stage, which will have boosters on the bottom eventually. And then this is going to be the engine of the second stage, I think. So this is first stage, second stage, and then each of these pieces will be able to come apart later on. So there we go. Okay, so we're going to add blue things on the outside of 2 of our red things. Oh, the rotation means like on opposite sides of something, I think. Okay. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, so I guess this originally started out as a fan build that then later got picked up by Lego and turned into a real build, which I guess is not an uncommon occurrence for their... Like, that they just do that sometimes. Okay, so on the pieces that have these 2s, I'm going to add some more. Give me some more. Give me some more. Give me some more. And give me some more. Okay, cool. So now we've got some extra little rockety bits. Keep on rocking me, baby. Keep on rocking. But the other thing is that, like, yeah, so people do actually sell kits that are not official, but are like ones that they've, you know, documented how to put together and wrote their own part lists, and will even, like, they'll buy the parts from Lego and sell you a whole kit. They typically end up being more expensive, of course, because they've got, like, they don't have an industrial system designed to put together Lego kits. And sometimes there's quality issues that people worry about with them as well. But I like this is a cottage industry, or maybe not industry, but like a thing that people actually do, which is interesting to me. I did not realize that until I was at one point I got sucked into the YouTube land of Lego, and so yeah. $499. Oh my, that is a pricey build. It's a lot more expensive than the one I'm working on now, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, so this one I think costs like 120 bucks at the moment. Maybe a little bit more. I should have actually dug up an Amazon link and put it in the description with a nice affiliate code so I could make some money off of all you rubes, but you know, you probably wouldn't have clicked it and bought it anyway, so. All right. I'm going to take 2 of these, I'm going to put them together with a 2x2. the core piece, the 4x2 and the 2x2, the core pieces of Lego as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, so I think that was what Van was referencing from the Spider-Man Homecoming that was mentioned, but I didn't see the movie, so I'm not actually sure. Oh, okay. I don't think I actually do this thing with both of them. I don't. Okay. Take this back apart. Take this back apart. Take this back apart. Take this back apart. Okay. So that is step 18. Step 19 is to take 8 of these little things and stick them on all 4 sides. So I'm currently taking this little 2x2 brick that I've surrounded in red and gray things, and I am adding some extra pieces on it. And this is an example of, so like literally this is a piece which, well, maybe not. I don't know. I was gonna say maybe this is a piece that you could remove the center brick from this, but I guess it's actually attached to all 4 of these pieces, so never mind. I'm still like, I'm trying to think of the places where you could add one or remove one part. And go from 1970. I mean, the reality is that getting 969 is not as simple as adding and removing one part, because you've got to get to 1970 first, which is like, at that point you've done a fair amount of work to get to there. So they definitely had a target in mind when they were getting to where they wanted to be. But as Mark pointed out, like building the stands is something you probably have a lot of control over. So you have a fair amount of like wiggle room in just building the stands in a particular way to use a certain number of pieces. So now I'm adding little yellow things all around these. I have no idea what this is going to be, by the way. Thankfully, it's using up a lot of my pieces here. So my table is getting slowly emptier. Yeah, so it's possible, Van, that the thing you saw is actually still a thing. It's just a $500 kit. Okay. And now we've got 4 more of these little one-piece jobbers that we're going to stick... Oh, no, I did this wrong. All wrong. Okay. I'm actually supposed to line up the studs with the stud, because then I'm going to add something else on it. So if you look, this is right. These are wrong. Maybe. That's hard to know. You know, I didn't see the movie. What do I know? I'm not a movie watching guy, just like I'm not a Lego building guy. I don't build Legos. I don't watch movies. I watch a lot of shitty TV on Netflix. Maybe that counts as a movie. Did I see Spider-Man Homecoming? I don't think so. I feel like that's one of those, because it's like one of the Marvel movies, right? And I should have watched it, or is it not a Marvel? Spider-Man's weird because like 4 different people have owned the rights to it recently, so I never know like which canon are we in? Like, is there a canon? Okay, so there we go. I've got those in the right way now, so we can add our white brick on top? Nope, brown brick. Where did my little brown brick? Oh, this is brown. I think I just like my eyes incorrectly white balanced because there was no white in my immediate vision, and so like I looked at this brown and I did not realize, like I looked at this and I'm like, oh, that's white because I didn't have this next to it, and like eyes are weird, man. I just white balanced myself how to find the piece I was looking for. Okay. Okay, so this goes on top of the booster engine cowling. Hooah! And then we can add 4 little connectors coming out. Maybe. If we could find the 4th one. Oh no, I just dropped. Oh, okay. We're fine. We're all good here. So I'm pretty sure I attached 3 to this, and now there's only, or I was attaching the 3rd to this, and I've already lost 1. And there was another one around here somewhere that I don't see. So that's kind of sad. Okay, so I'm going to stand up carefully and see if a part falls on the floor. Oh, I got that one. Okay. So there's the 3rd. And unfortunately, we're missing the 4th. I did sweep here, so if it fell immediately on the floor, I might be able to find it, but unfortunately, I don't see it. So, all right. Well, we'll keep going, and hopefully it will be noticed as we clear a little bit more of this out, or if not, maybe it'll show up later. Okay, okay. All right, so we got this, and what's next? So that was step 24, step 25. There were definitely 4 of those in the bag, by the way, so this is definitely a screw up on my part. I saw all of them out here. I just can't find them now, so. Okie dokie. Not that anyone was really doubting that that Lego had done the right thing and that I was in the wrong, but anyway, hello villain, welcome, welcome. Happy to have you joining us tonight. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I didn't do much for Thanksgiving. Jess and I were actually going to go out to dinner, but we did not do so. She was not feeling well, so we stayed home. I did call my brother, who was talking in chat earlier. Chatted with him and my other brother and my mother and my aunts and my dad and told them all happy Thanksgiving. I am planning on going out to Illinois for Easter, so that'll be our next trip out to see them, as we'll do an Easter thing together. Okay, now we've got some little green pieces here. Wow, that is a lot of pounds that you would have. So Mark was just saying that if you had a 48-inch Lego ball with no open air inside, so like the inside of this is like has a bunch of open air in it, right? But if it was solid, then a 48-inch diameter ball would weigh 1,000 pounds, which is, to be fair, is the type of, like, that's the scale of the builds that they do at, like, the Lego Town and, like, all these other things, right? Like, it's not like that is a completely unheard of amount of Lego. Like, 1,000 pounds is definitely the scale that Lego builds routinely, but it's still kind of crazy. It's crazy for anyone else to think about it. Like, here, we'll just ship you a Lego. Like, oh, maybe we won't ship that. Turns out that you need to have a pallet in order to do that, and also a hand truck and a lift jack and, you know, all these other things that just gets really difficult to ship, so we're not going to do that. I'm not planning on coming to Ohio for Christmas. That is not currently my plan. I am planning on being at home for Christmas. We may actually try and get the house clean enough that we can have people over for Christmas, because we have not done that for a while, because we've got all this stuff. As you've noticed, in the basement I have a lot of stuff, but some of this is coming from, like, when Jess's mom died, the stuff that we, like, and then her dad passed away, and so we have all this stuff that we've just never really dealt with, and so we should deal with some of it. So, yeah. Let's do this. I do like how, like, everything looks more, like, dramatic when you have it with a black background. Like this is way more dramatic than, you know, anything else. So on the plus side, I've got myself a little space set up so I can actually do, I'm considering doing, so one of the things I've wanted to do for a while is re-record my channel intro, and so I can I've wanted to basically do an interview with myself. So like think of like the no clip style interviews where they're like asking random questions or whatever else like that. And they're edited so that, you know, mostly you don't actually hear the interviewer asking the question. You just hear the person answering. And you just, the editing makes their answers such that they seem like they tell the story. And I wanted to do my channel intro the same way. So it's like, oh, what are you about? And like, you know, having a whole piece talking about the, like, I really think that blah 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 blah. I haven't actually written the script that I want to do yet, but I want to do it with this nice, like, you know, dramatic look to it. So here we are. Okay, so we've got a little platformy thing. I don't know what this is going to be yet, but it looks like it's going to connect to the next stage of the top here. So we will connect the edges around the side here. Feel like if you had a half-ton, I don't think you can roll it around. Like rolling around a half-ton of Lego just feels like the kind of thing that's difficult to do without a motor to drive it. Although didn't they just build like a Lego car or something? I saw that go by in the Twitter space, and I like briefly watched the snippet video but didn't dig into what it actually was. But I'm pretty sure someone just built a car, like a functioning like 10 horsepower car out of Lego or something. All right, so this goes across the top here. Stick a couple blue things on here to attach the corners. Okay, and then we do the same thing in the other direction. We attach to the blue pieces. And then we attach across here so that we've got another flat base to work from. Does a tractor tire weigh more than half a ton usually? I guess there is the question of like at 48 inches around, I guess it would actually be big enough to like it would have, like, even with it being made out of Lego, it would still be very round because these pieces are only like, you know, I don't know, half an inch tall or whatever. So yeah, I guess I was thinking like you can't do that because Lego wouldn't roll. But of course, when you have Lego that big, it becomes like round. The granularity there is not the problem. Disintegrated. Well, they tried. It's a wrecking ball. And this is why the Lego designers are ingenious for their ability to build things that don't fall apart, right? Like that's a thing. It amuses me that, I don't know. Okay, cool. So now I've got, oh, you need to put, oh, I did. It's like, I need to put these pieces on here, but that's exactly what I just did. Okay, so now we need to snap these around here again. Snapping on some more stage tops. Stage, or cowling, I guess. Cowling is the word, maybe. Something like that. And then we've got another piece here. So that's why we had an odd number of these cross pieces, is because they are used in this particular way. And we got two little blue pieces that were underneath here, but got them. Got them. All right, these will snap on to put these in their place. Oops. And now what? Green is going to go on top here. I was like, which way does it go? And then I realized the square. I don't know which way to turn it. Duh. Not smart. All right. And we add this on top here. And this on top here. This on top here. this on top here. And one more around the top. Once more into the breach. All right. That's step 36 done, and then this just kind of slots in on top of here. Okay, cool. So this brings us to this stage. I think there's going to be more stuff around the outside of this eventually. So you're not going to see all these colorful bits by default, but I think this is basically going to be the first stage. This is the second stage. And then this will be kind of the base of the third stage, I guess. Yeah, so the next bit is to build this kind of outside bit that says USA on it. So we're going to have that. But what we have done is finished up our... I have a little bit where... So I have two extra pieces. One white and one brown single stud thing. I'm pretty sure that there were 5 of each. And I only used 4. Yeah, okay. So I think they included 2 extra mini studs. Unfortunately, they didn't include an extra of the little yellow things that I misplaced. But, oh, there it is. I found it. I found it. It slid under another bag. Great. Look at that. I got all the pieces I wanted, 2 extras that I'm pretty sure were intentional, and I am a golden god. Amazing. Cool. Bag 1 done, 10:08 p.m. So we can tell that this is definitely off to a speedy start with absolutely no risk of running out of time in a 4-hour stream. Although that's stage 30 step 37, there's 330 steps, so at the current rate of steps that I'm doing, it will take me 10 hours to build this. So hopefully the steps get faster for me, otherwise I am in trouble. Like I said, when I don't finish this, I am going to be resuming my stream at 1 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, so you will know that. Okay. Okay. It's like just put these together, but it doesn't have any pieces to put them together, and I'm like, I don't understand what this means. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little short thing and actually put them together. Not that short, longer than that, I think. All right, I'm gonna lay these pieces out because clearly I'm doing this wrong. I'm gonna set that far away so hopefully I don't knock it over and destroy it before I even finish the next stage. Null it out, null something. Insert some words here that say what I mean. I don't know where they will go with a sheen. I know that I can... Oh, I get it. Okay. I was doing the wrong thing, so it's a good thing that I dug out more pieces to explain to myself what was going on. Okay, so these are all little white things that I'm not worried about yet, but I will need them in stage 4, step 41, so we'll just cut them open now. USA, USA, USA. I am not paid by the hour. No, sir. No, sir. Am I paid by the hour? There are people who work at Google who are paid by the hour, which is still weird to me. But I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles. All right, and I need these as well. These little red pieces are currently in my jurisdiction. Okay, there we go. So we'll take 2 little red pieces that have a space for sticking a thing through them, like a rod through them. So if you look at these, you can actually see there's a little cross in them. So. All right, so we got that. We've got a brown brick, which is brown and not white, despite my color aversion. And then we've got this, which lines up in the middle here and attaches. Great. So I think I'm going to have to do this 4 times, but that's fine. Let's just do it once successfully, and then we can repeat it. Okay, so we need 2 1x1s. No, 1 1x1. 1 pointy 1x1 with like a hook. I don't think that I mean, that's not the reason that Google, like, the difference in who's salaried versus who's not has nothing to do with some kind of arbitrary limit in numbers. It's types of job roles that they do. So like admins, like people who work to support like VPs, for example, like as an administrative business partner. So basically managing, like helping plan offsites and making sure that, you know, the VP's email is dealt with and like all the things that you need someone to do when you manage 1,000 people. Those folks are oftentimes paid by the hour. So they have to do like time cards and blah, 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 blah. And that just, I mean, I get it, but it just seems meh to me. Okay, so we've got the A, USA, USA, only it's just A so far. The US will come later. A. Alrighty. All right, now I take one of these pieces. And I'm going to add some U and S on it. Yeah, so one of the things that, for example, Lego can do that fan builds don't have the ability to do is they can print letters right on the Legos. Obviously, if you are like applying them with stickers, or if you're doing like other potential approaches to building these things as a fan build, that doesn't work quite the same way. So one of the things that was mentioned by one of the reviewers putting this together was like, oh yeah, the registration on all these letters is really like good or whatever. And I'm like, that seems like a weird thing to comment on. And then I realized that the reason that they're commenting on it is that if this was when this was a fan build, they were probably little stickers you had to apply yourself, which definitely changes the feel of these things. My bet is that if you are like a Lego fanatic, like that you have approaches for how your little word Lego on these bricks is supposed to be organized. And I just realized that I have like the Lego facing 2 different directions on this piece. And it's going to drive me a little bit crazy, but hopefully I can get past it. Cool. So these go together like rama-lama-lama, a dingity-ding-da-dong. Remember forever like shoo-wop, shoo-wada, di-di-di-boom, di-boom. Chang-chang, changity-chang, shabab. That's the way it should be. Wow, yeah. We're one of a kind, like dip-de-dip-de-dip, doo-op-a-dooby-doo. Our names are signed like shooby-shooby-shooby, shooby-bop-shoo-bop. Chang-chang, changity-chang, shoo-bop. Da-da-da-na-na-na. Wah, 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 wah. When we go out at night and stars are shining bright up in the skies above. So I was really hoping I was going to get to stage 48 and it was going to tell me like, hey, here's the next 12 steps, and it's just doing the same thing over again. But it's like, no, just repeat that 4 times. So on the plus side, we've got ourselves a nice little USA cowling that's going to go on the side. On the minus side, I have to do it 4 more times, and I don't even get credit for doing steps. So I could make it say AUS, yes, or SUA for suck up asshole. No, I don't know. But I'm going with USA because I am proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave their life for me, and I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, because there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I still feel most of those words are true, even though I am desperately sad about many of the things that are going on in this country, which We know that I am. But, you know, you gotta just do what you gotta do. Gotta try every day to make the world a better place. That's all I can do. Try every day to make the world a better place. 2, 4. Just gonna kind of pipeline this a little bit more. 2, 3, 4. Do a whole bunch of these at once. All right, 1, 2, 3. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Okay. Got that. All right, little white studs done. 3 little white things going on the stud machine. The stud machine, that's me. CPG, the stud machine. Okay. 3 little black studs going on the stud machine. Baby, baby, I don't know which way I'm going to go. I don't know which way I'm going to go. Oh, oh, oh. Anyway, I went to a DSA meeting last Saturday, as I think I might have mentioned. I presented my proposal to the DSA community of how and why we should organize for municipal broadband here in the state of Massachusetts, within the DSA org in particular. And I got pretty decent positive response, which I'm happy about. I was able to get, I think, 10 or 15 names of people who were like, yeah, I want to help with this, which is awesome. So now I have to bother those people, be like, hey, help me with things, which is in part great because some of them were actually from Cambridge, and Cantabrigians. I have a very specific ask, which is, hey, help me by signing my petition. But even beyond that, people who can help canvas and help share things is great. I do have a friend who is offered some graphic design work, which is good because the next thing we need to do is design a palm card, which is those kind of like 6x3 pieces of like flyer leaflet material that people stick in your door. So I'm gonna beg for his help on that. All right, I've got my A's here, which is of course the end of US, so it goes on the bottom. Okay, so those are done. Now I can do the black sides. I wonder if the difference in colors here was meaningful. Like, is this a color thing, or is it just for appearances? Because I know that, like, the black on the shuttle tiles, I feel like is important. Or maybe it's just what they're made of. I feel like I knew this at one point, and I'm terrible at the space program, so maybe I don't know it anymore. By the way, if my computer starts getting to the point where it's like, seems like it's dropping frames or anything, let me know. I know that I've had problems with that before. My hope was that because it's kind of chilly down here, it wouldn't be as much of a problem, but frankly, I'm actually staying pretty warm, which might just be because I am like moving as I'm putting together these Legos, but makes me wonder if it's warmer down here than I expected. I'm missing one A. Where is my other A? There's an S, there's an S. S, da, da. S, A, there's my A. Okay. Got my final A's. I got 3 of these little USA bajungles now. Boop. Cool. Oh, I didn't add a thing I was supposed to add to the previous set either. So that's good that I noticed that now. So the piece I failed to add is these little sticky outy bits I didn't add, but I got them now, which is great. Okay, USA, USA. Okay, so now we're going to take one of these, put these aside. These are all the same. I'll do something 3 more times. U, S. But yeah, so the registration remark was in specific about the alignment of the lettering on these pieces, which was like, well, duh, they're the same because they were all printed in the same, like, you know, they're automated. They probably printed 1,000 of them, so they have to line up, otherwise, like, things wouldn't work. But of course, that doesn't mean much when you've got these hobby built kits that are much different in how they're put together. So I was like, oh yeah. Okay. US. I need my short pieces on top of there. Ripping through these pieces, which is great. And these go vertical, vertical. Got lots of little grid, lots of little details on this. You know, the grids, the cowling, the number of pieces that you can take apart and demonstrate in how, you know, the Saturn V actually worked with the lunar missions. The fact that like just like you're hurtling through space at 100,000 miles an hour or whatever. It's not 100,000, but like really fast, and you just like, you know, slowly push the bit in front out and then have it like turn around and do a maneuver and dock with it. And I realized that like all motion is relative, so you know, if both things are going 100,000 miles an hour, then it really doesn't matter that one is going 100,005 and one is going 100,000. In the same way that just because we're on a giant ball of mass hurtling around the sun, like means that, you know, I have to take into account the 1,000 miles per hour that the whole Earth is moving when I'm accelerating my car slightly or handing an object to my daughter. But it still kind of boggles my mind that that just works. Like, I know it in a way which is not the way my brain actually thinks. Okay, so, oh, I was gonna say I lost a piece, but I didn't. I found it. We're good. All is well. Okay. US. And now I attach this bit underneath with 2 up. And then I attach the other pieces to the top. Hopefully, no one has said anything since Brad's last comment that says that was beautiful. If you have talked in the last 8 minutes, please talk again. Maybe it'll wake up my chat. Otherwise, I will refresh shortly and make sure I'm not missing anything important. Because I hate to miss important messages or unimportant messages. I hate to miss any messages because you're all important to me. You are all so beautiful to me. You are so beautiful. Okay, cool. That's fine. I just want to make sure as I put together these Legos. Well, I appreciate that both of you are here. I appreciate that anybody is here. You know me, I'm just the kind of guy who likes to make sure that we're all happy, happy, happy. So was your job any different this week, Brad? Did you end up, I don't know how much impact Thanksgiving has on your work schedule because you usually don't work with U.S. clients, I don't think. But I know that kind of the whole world ends up revolving a little bit around U.S. holidays, so you just get like less email on days when people don't work. And of course, the internet is much quieter on those days as well. Right. I fixed this one thing on one piece, but not on the others, so we will fix that as well. Add some more edges and rocket cowling. Add some more ridges, and that's the thing I'll do. I don't know what I am doing to us. I don't know what I will do with the bus. I don't know. I'm just making up words at this point, but that's pretty obvious. Okay. And done. Okay. So now I can put these together. We go together. I don't know what I would say my priority was. My priority is to make everyone happy because then they pay more attention to me. Like that's the reason, right? So now I have 4 of these instead of just 1. I can only carry 2 at a time, but trust me, there are 2 more. You just watch me build them. Okay, and these go on the outside of the spaceship. Spaceship, spaceship, I don't know where. Whoa! Okay. We're fine. We're all good. Okay. And this one. Yeah, so the connection points on this is that we've got a couple of rows of studs on the outside, plus, and it's actually a good thing I found that 4th little wall thing, is basically like they're attached to those 4 inside, and then they're attached to these on the outside. So what this means is that like this whole piece can kind of easily come off, which is, I think, how it actually would happen. I think that these pieces came off and then it separated from the booster thing, but correct, Brad. Making people happy is just, let's just be clear. I like making people happy in and of itself. Like, that is a thing that I want to do. I'm not sure if it's my primary motivation for everything, but it is certainly my primary motivation for a lot of things. Like, it is unfortunately, or unhealthily perhaps, always my desire to make people happy, even to the detriment of my own mental health and stability. So I don't want to, like, you know, say that it's the only thing I think about, but it's something that I routinely have to discuss with my therapist, how I can stop making other people's happiness be my only priority. Okay, can I get this in here? And to kind of latch on. There we go. Okay, cool. So now these are all kind of latched in. It's pretty solid. Like I said, I can hold it by any point, maybe not by up here, but like now that one little brick in the middle that connects the booster engine here doesn't feel as fragile anymore. So cool. So that was bag 2, brings us to step 50. And so we are slightly over 1/6 of the way done. That bag took much less time than the first bag. We'll again shift this out of the way, and we had no extra pieces. No extra pieces, no missing pieces. Brilliant. This one does not have an inner bag of small pieces, so. Oh, it does. I missed it. It was hidden. It was smaller, so it was hidden in the middle. All right, I'm going to cut the small pieces out over this book here for the moment. A couple little 1x1 studs again, so. Okay, I did actually figure out that not knolling cost me last time, so let's just go ahead and do it this time. Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. Together we will stand, every boy, girl, woman, and man. So I am pretty sure that the USA on the side was not functional. I am 99% sure that that is simply decorative. But yeah, no, I like making people happy. I've always liked making people happy. it is something that I enjoy doing. It's one of the reasons why I actually enjoy it. I was talking to my brother about working on the open source team, and he was like, "Why would you want to work on that?" And I was like, because I get to help people like release software more easily, because I get to help make sure that Google meets its obligations, because I get to help make sure. And he's like, but isn't it boring? And I'm like, I mean, not to me. It's just code like anything else. Like, it's all tool development and other stuff like that. I don't have to, like, the work that I did at YouTube, it may have sounded more impressive, and certainly it was easier to explain to people at a high level, but at a day-to-day level, it's not actually much different. Okay, so this is mostly like cowling. Oh, there's a flag. Okay, so some of these pieces have flags on them. So at some point I'm going to be looking through these and realizing like, oh, I need the ones with flags, and I won't be able to find them because they'll be mixed in with all the others. Because there's like 100 of these little pieces, right? And I've got like just a couple of them have flags on them. So I've got like 50 of these, and presumably 4 or maybe 1 flag. Maybe it's only 1. I think it's going to be 4 flags though. So that'll be fun. So we'll take these small pieces and shift them here. Cool. All right, out of my way. Yeah, there's 4 flags. Of course there's 4 flags. Okay, so we will start by taking a long piece and a this piece and putting this in the middle. There we go. And we're going to do this 4 times. I'm 90% sure, given how this is looking. Yeah, we're going to build 4 of these. Okay, so I'm just going to build 4 of every step that I take. Every step you take, every move you make, every something you shake, I'll be watching you. Which is kind of a creepy sentiment if you think about it. Like, it's a very stalkery song. I am not that kind of stalker. Yeah, so one of the things that I saw mentioned on like a Craftsman show at one point was the discussion of the orientation of, like the vertical orientation of, or the orientation of screw like flathead screws in outlet plates, or like switch plates, and how, you know, you can tell the craftsmanship of something in part by just looking at like, did whoever put these together last like actually organize, like vertically align the screw things with the switches. So like if you've got a switch that like, does it go vertical, is a straight up and down line on the flathead screw, and basically said like, you know, it's a sign of someone who pays attention to their work when you do that. And when you go into a lot of these like McMansions and other shit like that, like they don't care. They just, you know, they ran an automatic like a drill over it for, you know, until it squeaked and then stopped and didn't pay attention to truing them up. And a lot of people replied and were like, oh my God, you have ruined me for life. Like, I will never, ever walk into a room and be able to look at this in the same way again, because, like, this is all I will ever see. So I don't have that particular problem, thankfully. Despite knowing about this, I have been able to avoid panicking in any particular way. But it does, you know, ring true about some people's attention to detail and craftsmanship. And I really have no idea how I got started on this particular bent. I'm just kind of babbling to myself as I do this. Okay, a flag. I need 1 more of these. 1 more first. Okay, so this isn't too bad because I can just go through putting these on, and when I get to flags, I'll just put them on. It's fine. Just always something there to remind me. Da, da, da. There is always something there to remind me. Yeah, overall I'm pleased with the fact that this is it's not super cold down here. I actually do have a heater like a space heater that's at my feet. The problem with it is that, like, as I've mentioned before, the power down here, not very great options available. So in particular, what I have at the moment is 2 CFLs, compact fluorescent lights, plus my laptop, plus my iPhone charger, plus iPhone charger, and that's it. Okay, so laptop, 2 light bulbs, and my iPhone charger, but they're all plugged into like a series of extension cords that are then plugged into the plug on a light socket. And so while I have the space heater plugged in, I'm a little bit afraid to use it because I just feel like running a space heater on like a trail of extension cords traipsed across the room, plugged into a light socket outlet, just feels like the kind of thing that is asking for a fire hazard somewhere in there. Like, my landlady is a little bit paranoid about fire. Like, she puts in to the lease that we couldn't have like a Christmas tree because she's afraid of fire because people don't take it out in time. But I feel like that, like in that case, running the space heater is actually the kind of thing that is a legitimate fear rather than a silly one. Okay, so okay, that's fine. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. I'm supposed to go one further down on these. Okay. Oh, one further down on this one. Okay. So that brings me to 12. 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So I think I did that right. So now I need to take and apply. Yeah, okay. All right. So basically I am just applying on the sides here, sticking these on the outside, and you can see the American flag, USA, USA. So yeah, Brad, I guess the problem would be that if I went with the Australia thing, I would have to deal with the fact that I have an Australian representation there attached with the American flag. So I don't know how well that would work. Yeah, so the problem is that I think if you're running too much current, like the problem is that I have no idea if these wires are actually rated for the amount of current running through them, right? Like that's the fundamental problem. So if they are not rated for them, which is entirely possible because it's not like exactly I have any idea what the rating of these cables is, like that could be, they could overheat and like melt, right? I feel like that's the case. Yeah, so I mean that's true if you buy like, you know, things that are UL rated, which I appreciate that you're so you think so highly of me. Okay, there we go. That is on there. Ugh. Fight, 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 fight. Please don't fight, actually. I don't want to, I don't want punches thrown. I want a clean fight. Okay. So, I think I did the right thing here. There's nothing attaching these yet, but I think that that's because this whole cowling has to be able to come off. So this is where we are at the moment. So you can see that these are just kind of loose. There's no attachment points here. So the only place they're attached is on the outside here. And they kind of are wobbly. Yeah, so as I pointed out, this is something that I plugged in and then went, yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna run that. And in particular, though, I did not plug in any power strips. They're just extension cords. They're like the 1 to 3 extension cords, which is bad, but differently bad. That's all. Okay, so I take this, and then I take a little roundy round. And then I take another one. And then I put a cap on top of it. Nope. Put a thing on top of it. Then I put a cap on top of it. Okay, so what I just built is red, gray, white, red, gray, white. And I think I'm going to have to build 4 of those. Red, gray, right, red, gray, white. Boop. I mean, yeah, at the moment I'm fine, which is all that matters to me. So I'm not going to run it. My legs are getting a little bit chilly, but I'm wearing lined pants specifically to counteract the effects of that. So the fact that it's only 56 degrees at my feet is not that big of a deal. I'm also wearing shoes and warm socks. So it's fine. It's fine. Basically, what I'm saying is I'm prepared. The fact that my basement is a little bit wintry is fine. It's also the fact that my office lately, so my office is tiny. My office is a tiny little space that, it's like 10 by 7-ish. And the open air and the daybed takes up a big chunk of that, and then like it's a curved ceiling, so it's not like straight up or whatever else like that. And so, well, this is unfortunate. I think I might have somehow misplaced one of my. I'll deal with it when I get there. Okay. But yeah, so it like, and it has a window in it, and so because it has a window in it, it gets super cold. And so like my feet. There it is. Okay, good. My feet, by the time I like finish streaming and go to bed, are like icicles. Because the heat in our I have the heat set to turn off at like 11:30, so that Jess can get to sleep more easily, because it's hard to sleep when the house is warm. So we have the heat turned down at night. But the heat turns down, and then all the cold comes in and gets on my feet, and my upper half stays warm because like I've got a computer running in there, and the computer plus the 2 light bulbs generates enough heat to keep me like reasonably warm. But it's still definitely gets a little bit chilly on my toeses by the time I finish up. Hello, mobile gamer boy. Welcome to the stream. I'm the Chris who plays games, playing retro games every Monday at 9:15, whatever I feel like, every Friday at 9:15. Tonight we're not playing anything except Legos. I guess Legos is kind of playing something. We're playing Legos. And I am missing a small... So I have the stud, but I'm missing a small gray topper here. So that's unfortunate. Okay, we'll keep going and we'll fix it up when we get there. Okay. Deal with what we got to deal with. So now we need to take... But yeah, I figured CFLs is fine, and my laptop, while it has an 85-watt power charger, the reality is that keeping it charged probably doesn't use all of that, so I charged it earlier so that it wouldn't be using all of that now, and so I'm not like super worried about what I've got, because it's just a couple light bulbs basically, and I feel like if you can't handle that kind of heat, then you're not much of an extension cord, but I do feel like the space heater is a different ball game that I wasn't trying to play. Okay, I'm gonna put that here, put this here, and put this here. Yeah, so the curvy pieces each have like 3 studs on the top, and all of them get used for exactly like one thing. It's kind of cool. Alright, we got a brown piece, and these gray pieces go along with them. Brown and gray, brown and gray. And then these grays go on top of them afterwards. So we're building up little pieces that look like this. We got dark gray, light gray, brown. And we are in step 57 of these instructions. Instructions. Okay, and this is where that connection comes in that I felt like I was missing before. So this cowling is actually attached in a little bit of an odd way. So that piece that I just showed you, the 2x2 block that I usually think of as being the bottom of something, actually goes sideways. So this hooks onto the cowling and then attaches onto a set of 2 studs that you have hanging out there. So it's interesting. Interesting little connection-y bits. And the piece that I stuck on the side is actually gonna, despite that being not like vertical rather than horizontal, is going to leave space for it to still like offer more connections vertically. So that piece is horizontal. The piece that will go on top of it will still connect. The power of connect. So yeah, and this way, like, it maintains both a connection upwards and a connection outwards, as well as using the horizontal connection to attach to the cowling like that. Okay, that's that one, and this. Okay. All right, so that is step 57 done. And that will bring us to step 58, which is going to be another one of these tricky bits that goes on top that I had a lot of trouble with last time. So we'll see if, now that things are a little bit more solid put together, or I've had a little bit more time building, if this will come out better for me, or if I'm just always going to have trouble with these attachments. Ugh. Okay, got that one in. Cool. So the other one is going to, unfortunately, be covering the place where I do have one missing piece. I've got a need for a thing to go under the stud, which I do not have. So this is going to connect a little bit poorly and maybe be loose, unfortunately. Maybe I'll come across this piece as I clean up the next step. Open the next bag or something. So happened last time. I found it underneath the next bag I went to open, so I'm just going to actually pull that out for now. Okay. And then this goes there. Okay. So we have now attached the pieces here. These are the pieces I was saying that we're connecting. So earlier I was talking about this being loose, but this piece here is pulling it in and then still leaving studs here and here, as well as on the top that I covered up to connect to. So now that cowling is nice and solidly in there, except for the fact that I just broke it. So solidly-ish. There we go. And we are back, and it's getting taller. It's coming. It's coming. All right, so that was step 58. 59 is to attach more pieces along here. Now that, okay, so these last pieces, they actually could have gone in earlier, but you get a little bit more wiggle by not doing that. So if you look at this spot here, I'm just filling in this last piece, and when you do that attachment, you're going to lose some of the flexibility which was needed for that top piece to slide in place. So this is an example of where Lego is really good at what they do by the order of the steps is like has some things that are kind of out of order in order to make the build go a little bit more smoothly. All right, and we have 4 of these white things left and 4 black ones that go along with them. So these are going to slide in also on top of the piece here. There you go, white and black that I just put on. And another one here. So I would say that to me, 9 hours is worth a lot more than 50 cents a mile. I mean, unless you, let's see, figure my time, not what my time is going to cost me, but like what my time is worth to me. Like not how much I get paid, but how much my time is worth to me. My time is worth something like $200 an hour, probably, maybe a little bit more, depending on the task. Like driving is not my favorite thing to do. So I would say that you would have to be saving 50 cents per mile. Let's see. If you're driving 1,000 miles, that means that you're paying an extra $500 to save 9 hours. Yeah, no, that's a sensible number. So you would have to be driving something along the lines of like 18,000 miles. So if you drove all the way around the Earth, maybe then that would be where I would be like, that seems like it's not necessary. I think that's how that math works out. Yeah, no, fly. I don't know. 400 miles is in the range of things that I might drive in some scenarios, but okay, you know what I am going to do? I think that this piece, if I stack up... No, I don't have an extra... Never mind. I was like, I can stack up 2 studs, but unfortunately I can't because it doesn't have, like, the piece that I need. It's to put the stud on is the one that's missing. Okay. So now I'm going to attach connections for the next stage. Basically, this is going to be like a little... I'm setting up 8 little outbound studs on each side of the rocket in order to connect to the next stage's cowling. Also, at some point, there's going to be a whole bunch of cowling to cover. Like, you can still see next to the USA, like, there's this gap here. At some point, we're going to cover all that with cowling, too, I'm pretty sure, so... Yeah, I mean, 400 miles drive, but California, it's like, well, it's, I guess if you go in the mountains in California, things get weird, but in general, California driving doesn't change a lot in the winter, except in the mountains, right? So, okay, cool. All right, so now I've got little pieces here that will attach to the next stage. And that is bag 3 done. We do have 1 extra mini stud, but that's only because we are missing 1 piece that I am pretty sure that I lost. And may turn up as I move bags around, maybe? Nope. Okay. So this brings us on. You can see we're making our way through the table here. And I think that this is called for a stopping point for a drink. Hello. How do I? There we go. Now I'm back in black. So this black backdrop is part of the lighting kit that I bought. So again, I've got 2 lights here, each with big reflector, like square reflector things coming out from them. You can actually see probably like reflected in my glasses here. You can kind of see what looks like a triangle, or a diamond rather. But yeah, you can see a diamond reflected in my glasses because these are squares or whatever. So those are my 2 lights. I've got actually another light over there which I'm not using because I didn't need one. Ideally, for like a 3-point lighting setup, you'd want to have this main light, which is kind of like right near my camera, which is over here. And then I've got a fill light, which is filling in the side here to get rid of shadows. And then I'd want to have like a backlight that was hidden from where the camera could see, but kind of pointing at the back of my head. The problem with that here is twofold. One problem is that, excuse me, I don't have enough room behind me. Like, this is right here, which is not, which you can see, right? Like, it's my chair is backed up to it. So there's not actually a lot of room to put a light back there. And 2, I don't have any power over here, right? So I'd have like another cable running somewhere. So to my left, you've actually got like my power cable here and all this other stuff. So, yeah. I didn't get into that, but yeah, so that would be a 3-point lighting setup. I also have that big LED panel light that we've shown a couple times, but I really didn't need it. So I considered involving it, but I did not. I wonder if this actually, all right, so let's imagine that this is one of the power extension cords. This is 13 amps, rated for 13 amps, I think, since it says 13A on it. 125 volt, 13 amps. So let's see, do some math. No, I have no idea how to do that math. I feel like I used to. V equals IR, right? Voltage. None of those are watts. Like, I don't know how to take, what's like an 85 watt power supply in amps? Like, how does that math work? It probably matters. Like, there's probably some other number in that equation that matters, right? Like 120 volts is a thing, but I is current. Oh, W equals V times, okay, so 85 watts equals 120 volts times amps. So like an 85 watt power supply is like 0.8 amps or something like that. Is that about ballpark right? 2 plus 2 minus 1. That sounds like how my SR goes in Overwatch 10-minute break. Only it's more like 2 minus 2 minus 1. So anyway, yeah. What do we got? We got, yeah. So look, 10-minute break. I got part of a rocket. I just built a rocket. I just lit a rocket. Rockets explode. It says USA on the side. USA, USA. Okay, so I guess I don't have to worry about my like 2 CFLs and my power supply for my computer being anywhere close to the 13 amp rating on this particular power cord. Now there is the problem that this is actually like a heftier feeling power extension cord than the ones I'm plugged into, but that at least I don't have to worry about starting a fire, which is good. Okay. Oh right, I didn't do this is wild fermented super dry cider, pronounced the way it's spelled. Super dry cider. Does it have anything? Oh yes. We believe the people's spirit is raised by culture. UFF is an experimental farm fermentation factory and community engagement hub located at 200 Anderson Street, Portland, Maine. It is here that we craft authentic products using local and foraged ingredients when available. To sample our full selection of seasonal concoctions, come visit our tasting room and experience our culture. Our hard apple cider is just that. Maine apples and naturally occurring yeast, giving it a dry, complex, fruity profile. Slight variations can be found from batch to batch. Okay. Oh shit. What? Oh, okay. I just had a panic moment. Okay, right? So I'm looking at this and I'm like, shit. Like I'm supposed to put more red things on here. I don't have any more red things. And then I realized that like, all right, I have to open the fourth bag. Bag four. Bag four. All right. What's a bag for? Yeah, I'm not funny. You like all my stickers? I like all my stickers. Look at all those stickers on there. I got a monkey. I got, oh yeah, this is a new sticker I got. It says semicolon appreciation club. Of course, this is the upgrade. Oh, this is the upgrade Cambridge sticker. There's a YouTube giraffe over there, as well as Chrome Dinosaur. He's also new from my trip to San Francisco. Excuse me. Okay. Skizzers. Okay. And we're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. If ever a wizardly whiz there was, the Wizard of Oz it was because of the wonderful things he does. Stickers aren't actually that expensive. I mean, depends on how many you want to buy, but like you can get reasonable, like if you buy a lot of stickers, they're like 50 cents a piece, and you buy a small number of stickers, they're like $1 a piece. So it is a totally achievable thing. I usually buy in like batches of like 250, which usually ends up being like $100. Okay. Don't roll away. That's going to be my whole little pile of studs there. Stud muffin. I use make stickers. Because they turn up first in Google searches usually. So, no particular reason. They've been good to me and I've had no problems with them. So. Ooh. Da, 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 da. Lived a man who sailed the sea, and he told us of his life in the land of submarines. And we sailed unto the sun till we found the sea of green, and we lived beneath the waves in a yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. So part of the so there are a handful of things in these bags. One, there are a bunch of fiddly bits that go into making like the lunar lander module and the command module, which go inside the top of the rocket. So like those are actually separate pieces that go in, that are like parts of the rocket. Two, yes, the stand is in there. So like those big bags in front, number 12, I think has all of those big blue parts that make up the stand. And then there was a third thing I was going to say, but I forgot what it was. So we'll just pretend that I didn't say it, because I didn't. Excuse me. So yeah, so there's a stand in there, and there's a couple other things that probably are contributing to it seeming quite large. Okay. Another big gray thing. Oh, I think I'm building a piece now that will cover up some of the side piece that we haven't already. So I think this is going to be that middle cowling part that I was like, at some point we're going to have to cover this up. I think that point is now. At least some of it. The weird thing I was going to say is Jessica is great. Jessica is great. But I don't think that's a weird thing to say. I think that's a totally normal thing to say, especially given that she's my wife. That's my wife you're talking about, man. My wife. My wife. Yeah, also it's going to be 3 feet high. Like, when I'm done, I'm going to set it here, and it's going to be off the top of this. Like, I'll set it here, and it will still be off the top of this. So, like, we got a fair ways to go still. This is just... So there's 5 stages, right? Saturn V? I feel like there's 5 stages. So this is stage 1, stage 2. We need stage 3, stage 4, and stage 5. So I don't know if that's actually why it's called a Saturn V, but I'm totally going with that now. That is the reason it was named that. Okay, so we've got some little... Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Tell me lies. Okay. Little white pieces, little boxes, little boxes, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same as a pink one, and a green one, and a blue one, and a yellow one, and they're all made of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. And the people in the houses all went to the university where they were put in boxes and they came out all the same. There's doctors and lawyers and business executives. They're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same. You're correct, Matus. My ability to read things is sadly flawed. You can take part in these streams, Lalo. You're right here taking part right now. I'm seeing your words in your face. And I'm responding to it with my words in my face. Especially now that I have alcohol. I should just drink more. Then I wouldn't be able to assemble as many Legos. I will have to... So one of the problems with streaming from the basement is I have to climb up 2 flights of stairs to get back to my bedroom. Which is going to be a problem if I get very drunk. So I shouldn't do that. Oh yeah, so Brad, the cats were in here. So this is one of the things I was mentioning at the beginning, is I had initially planned on like taking out all these pieces and making sure I had all of them. In the end, I'm very glad I did not do that, because as I realized as I was setting up my stream, the cats had absolutely no problem wandering all over my table. So Tony and Ichabod both spent a bunch of time wandering back and forth over the table as I was setting up the stream. So just so you know what I've built. It's this little black thing. This looks like here, and blah blah blah. Oh, it's not that big of a house. It's an 1,100 square foot house. It's not a big house. Yes, the Super Star Destroyer is longer. We decided the Eiffel Tower is taller. We also decided. So it's not the biggest Lego build ever. That is for certain. Okay, so. Yeah. It's interesting how when you have a job rather than being a crypto trader, you can have a house. I mean, my rent is still crazy. Like, the only reason I can afford to live here is because I work in tech. But still. China. All right. So I have to attach this somewhere. How do I know? Like, I'm confused on something. Okay. So here's the thing. As far as I can tell, this thing is entirely symmetrical at the moment, right? Like, everything about this is symmetrical, but I only have 2 of these exact pieces, and it wants me to attach them on opposite sides of each other. So hopefully there's not actually a difference in, like, which things I'm aligned to, but yeah. Oh boy. Okay, that's not a big deal. There we go. Okay. There we go. I mean, I'm not convinced that the way that Lalo says China is not somehow offensive to somebody or other, but it does stick out in my head as a Laloism that has infected not my day-to-day speech, but my streaming speech. And the same way that when I talk to Lalo, I say like things like fam, which is just should not be said by people my age. It's really not acceptable, but okay. Yeah, so I don't know. At some point, I'm going to have to make this more... I mean, the reality is, right, like, there's still parts here that are red that are going to get covered up. Like, the red parts will all disappear, and there's parts down here that will disappear. Like, there's more to do here. I'm just a little bit confused because it seems like this isn't a perfectly symmetrical part, and I'm just having trouble with it. That's all. It's not a big deal, just a little deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this. Got this and this. Oh no, we're only gonna do one of these? Okay. Kind of expected we were gonna... Oh, we are gonna do 2 of these. Okay, good. 2 to the power of 1. 2 to the power of 1. 2 to the power of 1 is 2. I had to think about that for a second, which I should not have had to do. I was like, wait, that is 2, right? Yeah. 2 to the power of 0 is 1, because anything to the power of 0 is 1, except is 0 to the power of 0 1? Because I feel like maybe there was an exception around that, although now I can't remember. And I feel, because 0 to the power of anything else isn't, 0 times 0 is 0. Yeah, okay, so I think there's an exception for 0. 0 to the power of 0 is just 0. But anything else to the power of 0 is 1. I don't know. Somehow, something about that feels wrong. Okay, so we've got some little things. A little thing, a little thing, a little thing, a thing, a thing. And we live... It's only $3,500 for the Star Destroyer kit. Like, what a steal! What a deal! How could you pass that up? All right, put on a 2-for 2x1, 2x1. Surprised sad face. I don't feel like my calculator had the ability to make surprise sad faces back in the day. I wonder if calculators now can do emoji. Can my TI-84 Plus Silver Edition that still costs $130, despite the fact that the electronics in it probably cost about 12 cents, do that? I love that. So there was, I was watching a channel, I watch a channel routinely called Company Guy, who does breakdowns of, like, the history of, like, how companies were formed and, like, what's special about them and blah, blah, blah. And recently he did, or, like, how they fell apart, like Blockbuster and why Blockbuster failed and so on. And he recently did one on Texas Instruments, and he spent all this time talking about how, like, I bet you didn't know that Texas Instruments made, like, chips. And I'm like, dude, I've got, like, TI-84 like transistor chips in my fucking desk drawer. Like, yes, I know that TI makes chips. Like, that's not the exciting part of this. I want to understand more than that. And he just spent all his time going on and on about how, like, I bet you didn't know this. And I'm like, yes, I did. Tell me something interesting. Like, you're usually really good at this, but this particular bit is not working well for me. What? I have to stick a thing in a thing? I gotta stick the thing in the hole. Stick the thing in the hole. I mean, Doom is not, like, that's everything can play Doom. That's not special. Okay. So the thing that I stuck in the hole, just so you can see what I'm sticking in a hole, is that, like, there's a little rod that goes in this piece. So this is actually two pieces stuck together. My drawer's upstairs. I can't even pull out the little, I don't know what they were. I used them to make my like EPS 822 powered sub counter, my little microchip sub counter, which I did a video about. But yeah, okay. I need two more of these now. Oh man, putting together Lego is so much more fun with beer. It's not beer, it's cider, but whatever. 64-bit Windows 10. Yeah, I don't understand, like, why. I don't know. The fact that the Texas Instruments calculator still costs so much is very clearly just like a conspiracy, or not a conspiracy, but like it's garbage. It's really what, like, I don't know what word I'm looking for. How about just garbage? Let's go with garbage. Okay. So yeah. So now I'm flattening this out. You should just do order of operations by typing in things in backwards. That's the HP approach. Reverse Polish notation was always very strange to me. Also, is that, like, why is it reverse Polish notation? It was RPN, right? It is Polish, reverse Polish. I'm pretty sure that's right. But I don't understand why. Like, was there something Polish about HP calculators, or, like, what? I don't know. People who like HP calculators are also, it's like people who like, I don't know, Emacs or something. He says, knowing that there are Emacs fanatics in the room. Alrighty. So now, all right. It's different. It's different. So this has an axis of symmetry, but it is not. It's not four-way symmetrical, I guess, is where I'm at with this. That feels wrong. No? Okay. Okay. So it's not like we were saying reverse Polish because Polish is like a insult or something like that. It's a guy who is Polish who invented it. That's fine. Sometimes I worry that, like, the things that I've just, like, learned and just built into my, like, gypped is one that I think has been pointed out to me a couple times recently, where I'm like, oh shit, like, that refers to gypsies, which is not a thing that I would have realized. Like, the whole commentary there is that, like, the gypsies have cheated you out of something and therefore you've been gypped. And I'm like, oh shit, like, that's not what I'm trying to say here. Like, but there's no good word for me to replace it with. Stupid racist garbage that has infiltrated my daily speech. Well, not daily speech. I didn't never use the word gypped daily, but yeah. So don't say gypped. It's kind of gross. All right. So now here's what I've got, right? Oh, see, Paddy Wagon. I never wouldn't have picked that up either. Like, I, of course, the Paddy Wagon, because, like, Patty is Irish, right? So it was like all the Irish drunks always going to jail. Like, ugh. Okay. Yeah, so you see how we've got this, but there's this gap here that we're gonna have to fill in somehow. And so like we've got on this side, it's filled in. So I don't think about things, man. I grew up in Illinois. Like, I don't know. Also, people can't spell Schmidt out here. Like, it's really rough. People in my German class could spell Schmidt. All right. So now I've got, oh my, I need to I'm building, oh, these are like nozzles of some kind. They're like fuel nozzles. Okay, so all these little pieces are going to connect, and they're going to make like a fuel nozzle. So, no, that's not black. Black goes with black. Oh, right. You're not gonna be able to see it. I gotta hold this in front of me. Here, I'm gonna hold this over here. Look, you can't see it. Ah! Look, leg OBuilds are a thing. I'm gonna build me some legs. I'm gonna build me some legs. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. So I'm gonna build 2 of these things somehow. Got some little 1-piece studs. Yeah, so like 1-piece studs, like those are not a thing that I would have had with my Legos growing up. But I am sure that they are a totally normal-ish build. Like these are not a special number of pieces. But since I only had like normal 2x4s and 3x2s and 2x2s, you know, this is not a thing I had a lot of. Okay, just 5. And then a little round stud. On the 6 more. Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then what? A capper. A kappa, kappa, kappa. Goodbye, Lalo. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good night. Okay. And then this is going to go in here. And snap in. Yeah, so this is like a fuel majigger. It's all here. So that's the symmetrical part that I was like freaking out about. Is like it slides in from here and it goes up to here. So yeah, I am the count. Ooh baby, ooh baby. All right, so I need to build another one of these. So we've got this. Followed by this. So yeah, it is not the very special pieces that shock me. It's just like most of these are pieces which, yeah, I knew they existed. Like they're not like custom curve pieces that say USA on them or whatever, but I didn't really ever think of them. Okay, nope, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Go away. Okay, so I got 2 of these, and then I got 5 white chunks. Illinois is racist. I'm not sure. I mean, Massachusetts is racist. Boston is racist. That's what I hear. I don't actually notice these things. I'm really bad at things. People are like, do you not realize? And I'm like, no. But I'll listen to you. I believe you. Like, I'm not doubting you. I just don't notice because I'm a bad person. I'm not a bad person, but I you know, it's as someone who is sufficiently privileged so as to generally not be affected by racism, it's kind of hard for me to notice some of these things sometimes. It doesn't directly affect me, so unless I pay close attention, I get kind of screwed on noticing. So I try to listen to people who are affected and make sure I pay attention when they tell me, hey, cut the shit. Cool. All right. So now I've got 2 little fuel lines that are hooked in. I'm still not quite sure how they work because they look like they're pointing up. Maybe they're like altitude jets. I don't know. Whatever. So those are snapped in. All right. So now we're going to take and build up 4 little white barrels. Eins, zwei, drei, vier. Lift your stein and drink your beer. One cap, two cap, and done. And then we'll connect it with one side into here. No. Connect the blue thing to a white thing. There we go. So this is interesting, is that this actually rotates on here. I don't know where this is going to go yet. Oh, this is going to go into fuel line. There we go. And we'll do the same with another. One thing I will say is that this chair is just slightly too low for this particular activity. 3 and 4. 2 short caps. And then a capper. And slot this into the other side. Cool. Wrap it around, wrap it around. I did this the wrong way. On the plus side, I have this little brick separator thing to plug it back out. Yeah, that would have been really difficult without that tool. So once you've slotted one of these little pieces, like these pipes inside of it, the bricks separator has a little sticky outy bit, and you can pop it right out. So that is very useful, because I just did the wrong thing by accident. Okay. The only thing is that, like, ah! Ugh. Oh. Crap. Crap, crap, crap. The only thing is that, like, I screwed up this part of the build, and it's going to be a pain in the butt to fix it. Okay, so here's what I did. This blue piece here is too high and needs to be moved down 2 bricks. Unfortunately, it's behind these cowlings, so I think I gotta pry these cowlings off. All right. USA, USA. On the plus side, they're nice and lettered, so I can be happy knowing that I got it back in the right place. And now, this should slide in here just fine. Well, sort of. And done. There you go. Fixed. Cool. That is step 86. Nope. That is step 91 done. What's next? All right. We got to stick 6 black short studs together. 3, 4. Oh, yeah. So I was listened to Ear Hustle, which is a podcast from a prisoner inside San Quentin prison, done with Nigel Poor, who is a volunteer at the prison. and it's a great podcast. It's about prison life and everything about it. Not concentrating on like what people did to go there, but rather, you know, how is life on the inside and what things are there that, you know, you might not know. And San Quentin prison seems like it's a prison for relatively like it's well behaved prisoners and stuff like that. Oh, there's a cat. That's why the sheet thing behind me is moving. And so like there's a lot of programs and volunteer programs and other stuff like that that go on at the prison. And so Erlon Woods basically pitched to Radiotopia like, hey, I want to do this podcast, and they helped him start it and run it. This is Tony. Tony is down here. Hello. Hello. Where are you going? You going that way? All right. Bye. And he actually just got his sentence commuted by the governor of California, which is kind of cool. He's been in jail for 21 years, so I think he was due out in another 4 years or something like that, or at least eligible for parole in 4 years. So it's not like he's getting out massively early or anything else like that. But I also think it's almost certain that the reason that he's getting out now is because he's got this like hugely popular podcast that he's been doing. Well, hugely popular, relatively popular podcast that he's been doing, which of course allows you to attract attention. Which, you know, you gotta play the game, I guess. Do what you gotta do. Okay, so now I'm gonna fuel these fuel lines even further. And put this right here. So there's a black component of the fuel line down at the bottom here, which is hooked up. And then we're going to do the same with the other side. Ugh. There you go. Boop. Cool. So we've now got a reasonable thing, although we're still definitely not currently symmetrical. We are going to cover up the area next to these fuel lines. Short ones on top. Ugh. And what do we got? 1 and 2. There we go. Oh, right. I never actually covered what I was doing. So after the DSA presentations, I actually took all of the presentation videos from their live stream and split them up. So there's now a channel called Boston DSA Videos that you can look up. And it has all of the videos that were recorded from that particular presentation, presenting the like 12 or so priorities that made it to the event to present priorities that the DSA should consider for the next year. So things that should get particular resources or be associated with causes, blah, blah, blah. So I was one of the folks presenting. It was good to have a bunch of people who seemed interested, and I look forward to activating those folks to be more active in municipal broadband advocacy across the state. Boston DSA kind of covers the overall area of basically everything inside the 495 belt. So you got groups that are in basically folks who are in all kinds of towns, and my hope is that we can kind of like work together and activate around basically doing individual advocacy to each of the towns that we live in. This is unfortunate. Oh, there it is. Okay. My cider was hiding one from me. Okay. So we got some more of this. So basically, I am building, at the moment, little cowling things that look like they'll fit on the outside. And I'm building 4 of them. So this will be something which is actually symmetrical. Doesn't have to upset me like the fuel lines do. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I've kind of split it up when I was discussing the priority into 3 basic areas. Like, one is education. We should educate Boston DSA members as to what municipal broadband is, like why it's good, like what benefits it can offer to municipalities, allow them to basically speak about municipal broadband, maybe not with quite the same level of knowledge and in depth that I understand, but at least at a basic level, tell people why this is better than what they have today. And the second thing that we should do is encourage those people to do outreach to their local municipalities. So, you know, email your city councilors and have every new member or every existing member of the DSA email their city councilors or their town representative or their town meeting people or whatever you have, and say, hey, I think that the city should be interested in municipal broadband. Like, what is our status on this? And have we looked into it at all? Hello, gaming lawyer. So yeah, education, outreach, advocacy. So reaching out directly to legislators or what have you. And then the third thing is outreach. So when a city has stalled or rejected or pushed back or anything else like that, that Boston DSA should then mobilize its members to like be a support structure and say, hey, like, let's help you. And maybe this is, in some cities, may never be necessary. Somerville seems like they're on the way towards reasonably considering municipal broadband, so we don't have to do the outreach part. You don't have to go directly to citizens if the city is willing to do it without any additional encouragement. But when it's not, like in the case of Cambridge, then the DSA can be a source of resources for organizing, and help and help, you know, fix that, by you know, being a set of boots on the ground to fix the problem. So yeah, Brad, it's Thanksgiving here in the US. I know you don't know this because you're in China, but okay, here we go. Here we go. Ah, look at that. Look at that. Okay, so now we've got some nice cowlings around the top. Each of these sides has this little window here, which will probably connect to something else. We've got fuel lines on the outside, coming down all the way to the bottom. And we still got some gaps here, but I assume we'll fill these in pretty soon. And it's looking pretty good so far. You can see inside the top here, this is going to be where another engine is going to go. So gaming lawyer is not Canadian. He's going to be moving a lot closer to Canada soon when he moves to Oregon, but he's not there yet. Okay, so we are on step 102, and we're 2.5 hours into this stream. This is not really going as quickly as I might have liked. I assume that there's 2 parts of that. One is, of course, that when streaming anything, you are in a situation which is different than not streaming it. I am just much slower. But the other is that I'm really bad at Lego. I have no experience with doing this kind of thing. It's not good. Okay. So this is gonna slot in here. Ah, no, why? Slot in here. There we go. We're just filling in those little windows I was just showing you. I don't know exactly what they are, but you know, whatever. And 4. So now you can see that. Oh no, this didn't. There we go. So these little windows now are filled in with little cowling, so you can't see inside them anymore. Cool. We've got some extra pieces here, but they're all basically mini little single studs, which I think we've discussed seems to be the norm. And we are moving on to bag 5. Bag 5. Oh. Okay. Oh, crap. 5 storage full. Just give me a moment. Ugh. Manage. All right, so I'm trying to figure out. I guess more or less I used up a bunch of storage recording video. I did not expect, like, I had 8 gig free, and I kind of thought that 8 gig free would be enough to record 4 hours of video, but I guess it's not, which kind of sucks. So I'm trying to figure out if there's a way that I can deal with this in a good way, but I guess there's probably not. Like, uploading it to Google Photos, it's gonna take forever, so yeah, whatever the iPhone default is the problem, right? I didn't realize, I wasn't thinking about the fact that I needed to worry about it. Also, if I try and upload this right now, it's gonna kill my ability to live stream. So I guess that's not an option. Well, that sucks. Yeah, but the problem is, like, I'm using both of my USB ports, and I could stop using my mic port. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go to internal mic mode. So you're gonna get some high quality internal microphone properties. Hello. All right. And then I'm gonna take this cable. And yes, all of this is ridiculous. But I really like the. I sound like shit. I mean, that's pretty much the default, isn't it? I'm a pretty shitty sounding person. I also think it's gonna, like, make me update iTunes or something in order to sync this, but we'll see. Plug in the phone. All of the add-ons for American Truck Simulator suck. A lot more sensitive, but not in a good way. Yeah, well, this is why I actually grabbed my, like, so let's be clear. If I had just been running this the whole time, it's likely that you would have been like, whatever. But, like, I don't think it would have been that big of a deal. Yeah, a software update is necessary to connect to Christopher's phone. Like, why? Why, computer? Why? And so, yes, fine. Download an item. Go ahead, I guess. I don't... iOS 12.1 is available for my phone. Yeah, so I kind of want to have so I set up the camera above me, so I'm going to have like a full vid. My hope was I'd be able to do a full time lapse of the build. I'm not gonna. I don't think I have to install an update on the phone. I have to download an update on the computer in order to do that. But I could be wrong, and we'll find out. But yeah, so I was hopeful that I would be able to do. Oh, sorry. That because I really wanted to do a time lapse, and I thought that that would be good. So. What? Why is it like the downloading bar is just like stuck? Like stop being stuck. But yeah, had I not brought down my real microphone and just been running with this microphone the whole time, you might have been like, whatever. Like I don't really notice it, but the transition from one to the other was definitely noticeable for me. So, I agree with you that this microphone sucks. Okay, can you download your software update? Like, what are you doing? Is the software update you have to install on the phone, the one that I just clicked no to? Because that seems like it's going to be a problem for you. Computers are terrible. Have I mentioned that? Computers are definitely terrible. Yeah, I mean, there's also the fact that I'm like clicking around on the computer at the moment, which is like the worst, I know, so. I suppose I could do the next bag and just accept that computers are terrible and I lose that part of the recording and do it from the stream or whatever. It just makes me sad. Yeah, 2.7 seconds is nothing. That's not... I have not dropped any frames yet. 2.7 seconds is totally normal. But I don't... Like, I don't get the impression that it's actually... Like, it's just like one of these static, like, progress bars, right? Display capture. So, like... Just like downloading. Cool. That's awesome. Like, are you actually downloading? I have no idea. So I can make this go away so I get the nice... Oh no! Video output low. Is that actually accurate? Yeah. Well, maybe. Hey! Oh no, it's not. What does it say? Still down. I like that you get all these like screenshots of like random shit. Oh, here's the one that the screenshot of when I was on screen on what's it called? Oh, encoding overloaded. Yeah, okay. So that's the... Okay, well, hold on, let's go away. Yeah. Let's see if that's better. None of that stuff. It's where the default screenshots go. It's not my fault. Oh, wow, that is super bad. I wonder if there's anything... This is dumb. I should just stop. Stop all of it. Close it all out. Accept that I will not be able to get this file off my... Yeah, my computer is... Are you, like... Yeah, so one of the problems that I've learned from streaming on this computer for a while is that, like, thermal overload is very much a thing, which, you know, I know in theory, but in practice, it's a thing. All right, that's probably, I think it's probably better. Yeah. So I hope now that I don't seem like I'm a herky-jerky mess anymore. Wow. Oh, I look like I'm probably still a herky-jerky mess. It's hard to tell. Alright, I'm going to set this aside for a second. I'm going to look at my CPU again, figure out if it looks like it's good. Okay, I've got 30% idle CPU at this point, so I'm going to assume that this is okay. I'm going to unplug my phone. What, like, there's a software update thing that's just sitting here doing nothing, but whatever. Oh, installing! Okay, now it says installing, so maybe it'll actually go. I'll give this another couple minutes. Anyway, in the meantime, happy day. Happy day. Oh, happy day. Anyway, so yeah, other things that I learned while cleaning up the basement. I found the OLPC, which you can see over there, which is just sitting in a box and is probably totally useless, but whatever. I found some WD-40. I also found 2 Phillips head screwdrivers, which, of course, like, never a thing, but I found them. Okay, it's downloading one item now. It says it'll take 3 seconds. So what was it doing for the past 7 minutes when it didn't have an estimate? Like, what software update was it trying to figure out that whatever. Okay. Fine, whatever. I think the answer is I need more beer because it's getting late. So, I will be right back while this maybe updates and installs. So, I'll be right back with more cider. Why does it take 1 minute and 27 seconds to install a software update? Like, what are you updating? You gonna reformat my entire hard drive? Like, you've already downloaded it, but now it says 1 minute, 27 seconds remaining. Like, what are you doing? Lord knows. Anyway, yes, those screenshots all go to the desktop by default. And going through and cleaning up old screenshots is like, it's like deleting memories. Like, you don't want to do that. You never want to do that. Okay, this is never going to finish. Fuck it. I'll just leave that running. Set my phone aside for the moment. We'll do bag 5, and after bag 5, maybe we'll try and get that file off of my phone, and we'll have a recording of bag 6. Okay, cool. That says 7. 5. 5 it is. Put this here. We got our brick breaker. We will take our scissors. Scissors open. Oh no! There's a bunch of little pieces that are not in the little pieces bag. Oh, so the little pieces bag is just extra grid work in this case. Okay. Also, now that I have done that, I should be able to switch back to a real microphone. So hopefully I sound better now. Let me know if I don't. Ooh, I'm like weirdly delayed now? Am I weirdly delayed here? No. Just here. Hello, hello. Okay, now I'm not weirdly delayed anymore. Okay, cool. Oh, encoding overloaded. What are you doing? Oh, I think encoding was overloaded just because like it was brief. Nope. Something is using a whole shit ton of CPU. Okay, you're going to get some choppiness, and that's just the way it's going to be. Hopefully when that software update finishes, that will no longer be the case. In the meantime, let's continue to build a thing. We're going to build 4 of the same thing. We're going to start with these 4 blue pieces. 4 blue pieces. We're going to add on 4 white pieces. I really do not understand what the hell the software update is that it wants to install in order to talk to my phone, that like it takes 10 minutes to download and is completely overwhelming the CPU on my computer. Like, it seems like a bit of a strange software update. If my voice, by the way, gets choppy at some point, please let me know. I think it should just drop frames that it's rendering, so I'll seem like I'm stop motion rather than something else, but I'd be curious if that is not the case. Not that I think anyone is watching super closely and maybe wouldn't even notice, but I assume if you heard the fact that I sounded like stop motion, you would be like, hey, you sound like or something. So hopefully I don't sound like that. But like, why not just keep them on the desktop? It's not like I ever see my desktop. It's like one of the reasons. So like at work recently, there was the big walkout at Google, and someone changed the background on all the Linux computers to talk about it. And it was like, you know, there's a walkout on this date, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, so many people complained about it, and there was like kind of a running joke among people. It's like, why, like, who sees their desktop? That seems like a really weird thing to see. Like, what do you do that you see your desktop? Like, isn't that just the thing that sits behind your Emacs window or your Chrome window? Okay. Oh, what? I did the wrong thing here? Oh, I did the wrong thing here. Okay. Did the wrong thing. So I have, okay, that's probably me then. I wonder if there's, like, I can't even figure out a task I can kill. Like, the task that's using CPU is, like, not something I can kill. How do I kill this software update? This software update is not a running task. Like, I'm